And as if Jesus needed to make his point any clearer, he then says, you will see him sitting at the right hand of the power. That Son of Man will be sitting at the right hand of the power. Well, what is this? This is a reference to Psalm 110, verse 1. In Psalm 110, verse 1, it says, the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand, and I will make the enemies a footstool for your feet. No one in all of Second Temple Jewish history ever claimed the right to sit next to God on his throne. Because if you were to say that, then essentially what you're saying is that God has an heir. It's like the king sitting on his throne with his son, the prince, next to him. That's what it means to sit next to God in that context. Yet Jesus claims not only to be the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven, whose worship with a service due only to God, but also has the right to sit next to God on the throne. He's the heir to the throne of God.
Muslims will often refer to that verse in John 14, the Father is greater than I. And they'll say, obviously, Jesus is not God. And I will say, well, let's look at that in context. Of course, we can go to the greater context of the Gospel of John. Again, the bookends, John 1:1 through 1:18, the prologue of John's Gospel, clearly propounds the deity of Jesus. That's what it's all about. And then in verse 18, if you have a good translation of the New Testament, it will say, Jesus is the only begotten God. The other end of the bookends is John 20:28, when Thomas says, Kurios mu katheosmu, my Lord and my God. He calls Jesus God. John 14 in specific, if you look at John 14 verses 13 and 14, what does it say? It says, pray in my name, when whatever you ask, I shall give it to you. He's talking about being with the Father and being able to give people whatever they ask for in his name. So what is he saying? He's saying, I am omnipotent because I can give you whatever you ask. He's saying, I'm omnipresent because he's with the Father, but he can also be with you. Because he says he'll also come and dwell with you.
When we read John 17, which you referred to, that we also read John 14, where in John 14, Jesus says, when I am gone, whatever you pray in my name, I will hear it and I will do it for you. Jesus is saying, when I'm gone, so he's not there, he can hear people's prayers, so he has to be omniscient. And I will do it for you, omnipotent.